History and culture of Spain. Spain is a country with a rich and varied history that stretches back thousands of years. Its cultural heritage is equally diverse, shaped by various civilizations, including the Iberians, Romans, Moors, and even the French during the Napoleonic Wars. Spain's unique position as a crossroads between Europe and Africa has also made it a melting pot of cultures, leaving an indelible mark on everything from its architecture to its cuisine. We'll take a closer look at the history and culture of Spain, exploring the key events and traditions that have shaped the nation as we know it today. Early civilizations and pre-Roman Spain. Long before Spain was unified as a country, it was home to a range of indigenous groups like the Iberians. These early inhabitants were skilled metalworkers, farmers, and traders. However, the arrival of the Phoenicians, Greeks, and Carthaginians between 1100 and 200 BCE had a significant influence on Spain's development, introducing new techniques in agriculture, trade, and navigation. In 218 BCE, the Roman Empire arrived in the Iberian Peninsula, and with that, Spain underwent a significant transformation. The Romans built extensive road networks, cities, and aqueducts, many of which still stand today, such as the famous aqueduct in Segovia. The Latin language, which evolved into modern Spanish, was introduced, and Spain became one of the most Romanized regions of the empire, a key influence that still reverberates in Spanish culture today. The Visigoths and the early Middle Ages. As the Roman Empire crumbled, the Visigoths, a Germanic tribe, seized control of Spain in the 5th century. They established a kingdom with its capital in Toledo and ruled for nearly 300 years. Under Visigothic rule, Spain was further Christianized, and the seeds of modern Spanish identity began to grow. The Visigoths were instrumental in shaping Spain's early medieval culture, but internal conflicts and weak leadership left their kingdom vulnerable to external threats. The arrival of the Moors in 711 AD would mark a dramatic shift in Spain's history. The Moorish conquest and Al-Andalus. In 711 AD, the Moors, who were Muslim invaders from North Africa, crossed the Strait of Gibraltar and quickly conquered most of Spain, leaving only a few Christian strongholds in the north. The Moors established the Islamic kingdom of Al-Andalus, and for the next several centuries, Spain was at the forefront of a flourishing intellectual and artistic renaissance. Cities like Córdoba, Seville, and Granada became centers of learning, where scholars from different faiths, Muslim, Christian, and Jewish, collaborated. Al-Andalus produced remarkable advancements in science, mathematics, medicine, and architecture, evident in monuments like the Alhambra in Granada and the Great Mosque of Córdoba. The Reconquista. The Reconquista was the centuries-long effort by Christian kingdoms in the north to reclaim Spain from Moorish rule. Starting in the 8th century, this campaign spanned nearly 800 years, with significant victories like the Battle of Covadonga, 722 AD, and the capture of Toledo, 1085 AD, setting the stage for Christian dominance. The final blow came in 1492, when the Catholic monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella, captured Granada, the last Moorish stronghold. This same year marked the beginning of Spain's Golden Age, with the discovery of the Americas by Christopher Columbus under the Spanish flag. The Spanish Empire and the Age of Exploration. Spain quickly rose to become a dominant global power during the 16th century, establishing one of the largest empires in history. Spanish explorers, such as Hernán Cortés and Francisco Pizarro, conquered vast territories in the Americas, while the wealth of silver and gold flowing into Spain propelled it to the status of a European superpower. However, this period of prosperity also sowed the seeds of future decline. Spain's aggressive expansionism, coupled with costly wars and inflation, eventually weakened the empire. Cultural and artistic flourishing in the Golden Age. The 16th and 17th centuries were also a time of extraordinary cultural achievement in Spain. This was the era of Cervantes, whose novel Don Quixote remains one of the most important works of Western literature. In the realm of art, Painters like El Greco and Diego Velázquez reached new heights, creating masterpieces that continue to influence modern art. Spain's influence on European culture during this time was immense. The Baroque style, characterized by grandeur and emotion, became the dominant artistic expression across the continent, in no small part due to Spanish artists. Spain's decline and Bourbon reforms. As the 17th century drew to a close, Spain began to experience a slow decline. The War of Spanish Succession, 1701 to 1714, resulted in the loss of many European territories, and the Spanish Empire began to contract. The Bourbons, a new dynasty, came to power and attempted to implement reforms to modernize Spain and rejuvenate its economy. But these efforts were often too little, too late. The Napoleonic Wars and Spain's fight for independence. In the early 19th century, Spain was plunged into turmoil when Napoleon Bonaparte invaded. The Peninsular War, 1808 to 1814, saw Spain's population rise in resistance against the French through guerrilla warfare. While Spain eventually reclaimed its independence, the conflict severely weakened the nation and accelerated the decline of its empire, leading to the loss of most of its colonies in the Americas. The turbulent 19th century. The 19th century was marked by internal instability, with a series of civil wars, known as the Carlist Wars, and struggles between liberal and conservative forces. Spain vacillated between monarchy, republicanism, and dictatorship, reflecting a deep-seated political and social divide that culminated in the Spanish Civil War in the 20th century. The Spanish Civil War and Francoist dictatorship. The Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939, was one of the most significant conflicts in modern Spanish history. Fought between Republicans and nationalists, the war ended with the victory of Francisco Franco, who established a dictatorial regime that lasted until his death in 1975. Franco's rule was marked by political repression and censorship, but also by significant economic development in the later years. Spain's transition to democracy. Following Franco's death, Spain transitioned peacefully to democracy under the guidance of King Juan Carlos I. The Spanish Constitution of 1978 was a key milestone in this process, establishing Spain as a parliamentary democracy. Spain joined the European Union in 1986, solidifying its place in the modern world. Modern Spanish culture and society. Today, Spain is known for its vibrant culture, which blends traditional elements with modern innovations. The country has a thriving art scene, with world-renowned filmmakers like Pedro Almodóvar and musicians like Paco de Lucía making waves internationally. Spain's festivals, such as La Tomatina and Las Fallas, remain important cultural markers that celebrate its history and traditions. Regional identities and cultural diversity. Spain is a nation of diverse regions, each with its own distinct identity. Catalonia, the Basque Country, and Galicia are just a few examples of regions that have retained unique languages, traditions, and cultures. The question of regional autonomy continues to be a major political issue in Spain, with debates over independence, especially in Catalonia, regularly making headlines. Spanish cuisine, a cultural expression. Spanish cuisine is a reflection of the country's rich history and regional diversity. From the seafood dishes of Galicia to the paella of Valencia, each region offers something unique. Tapas culture, which involves sharing small plates of food, is central to Spanish social life, and Spain's wines and olive oils are recognized around the world for their quality. Flamenco and Spanish music. No discussion of Spanish culture would be complete without mentioning flamenco, a passionate and expressive art form that combines singing, dancing, and guitar music. Originating in Andalusia, flamenco is a symbol of Spanish culture that has captivated audiences worldwide. Modern Spanish music also continues to evolve, blending traditional sounds with contemporary styles. Spain's history and culture are a fascinating tapestry woven from the many civilizations and events that have shaped the nation. From the Romans and Moors to the Catholic monarchs and modern democracy, each chapter of Spain's history has left a lasting impact on its culture, traditions, and way of life. Today, Spain remains a vibrant country with a rich cultural heritage that continues to influence the world.